Right, so here's the project board here. My EP4 board, which I've now started to assemble. I've got a couple of parts on there, I've got a little capacitor here I've got to put on. Now I decided to do this a little differently. So this is a display PCB. I did build some other ones in a previous section of video, and I had the pins coming straight at the back, and I was just going to run a ribbon cable to it. But what I've realised is that I could actually mount this directly on there like that inside the radio, and just have a little header pin socket and assembly here, and that should actually fit. So that's actually what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put it on there like that, and that also resolves another issue I had, which is where the in fact I'll show you. So if I put this board on here, which is how I designed it originally, if I can clean the line up with some pinholes, be good. There we go. That'll sit there like that, which covers up these cans. Now the modification I've done to the board design opens up that one, so you can actually get to that can now, and just get through that one, maybe through that screw hole, but or that bolt hole, mounting hole, what you want to call it. But these ones are covered up, so that was actually potentially a problem. So what I've decided to do, because I have to have ribbon cable going somewhere anyway, right? And the noisiest part of this is from the display to the controller, I believe anyway. I believe that's the noisiest part. So if I stick this on here instead, you have to sort of simulate, because it's not actually, you know, mounted yet, but it'll be more like that. Okay, which gets it out of the way and actually works out. It leaves all the cans clear, and because it's all really short here, now the noise should be less of an issue. And I just run a ribbon cable from here to the PLL board instead. Alright, so it's only short as well. You know, effectively the same kind of length it would have been the other way around, but it should actually be quieter that way, in theory. I'm going to build it and find out. So that's the plan. So I've already started constructing it, so I thought I'd just video some of that, and in case anyone's interested in watching me build something. So this capacitor here is a what's that? What's that one? That's a .01 UF, right? And that's the one which has to go. I'll find it now. There. I've already put flux on this board for my little flux pin. It makes a big difference when you try to do surface mount stuff. I do have my iron quite hot. This is currently set at 390 Celsius, that is, not Fahrenheit. So surface mount's not my greatest thing. It's not like I'm using a magnifier or anything like that, or microscope. This is just with my eyes, because it's not that small, this stuff, but it's not the easiest stuff to work with. And then I think I need a 100 PF there. I've got to check that. Yes, I do need that one. So that's a bypass cap. That's a bypass cap just to help produce noise. I also need a 100 PF, which is for the input. Oh, I should put that away before I forget and mix it up. Which I haven't used any of these ones yet. I used them out of the other packet, so I need to try and consolidate my parts actually. So I need 100 PF there. I also need to do a resistor on the back of this for that mistake I made on the board, or missed a part. So I want that one there. Bit too much solder on it. This iron's tip's a bit big for this really. I I'm not sure what size it is, but it's pretty large, which is good for keeping the heat on the board, but it's not so good for doing really fine stuff. Right, I won't put this back. This goes on the back of the board here. I won't put it on just yet until I've got this side all done. Now I need to do the PLL. So these ones. Yep, it's those ones. I need one of those. It's got tape across it, of course. Come on. This is going to be a little bit tricky because this is really small. Right, pin 1 is that end. Yeah, these pads are a little bit small on this, so I knew there's something I wanted to change on this board when I did a revision, but I couldn't remember what it was. Now I know, it was this chip's pads. They're really small. It's more suited to solder paste than hand soldering, but that's okay. That's it. Close enough? Well, yeah, kind of. I think I might need a new tip cleaner. Those brass tip cleaner things, because it's looking a bit discoloured. It seems to be when I dip it in to try and clean it, it comes out only marginally cleaner. I think the it's a bit too loaded up with solder now. Anyway, so the thing with these boards is they are a little time consuming to assemble. I'll try to put component markings on stuff, but not everything is marked, and some of it's optional. Like up here, I've actually relaid it out to try and create some space around here, but the amplifier section there, most of it isn't used. I've got a bypass in here, which is what the capacitor is. I've got a bit of a solder dag on there. Let's get that off. So that disables this amplifier section. Just doesn't use it. Not every application is going to need it. In fact, I think most cases I probably won't use it all, but I put it there as a precaution in case I needed it. If I got really tight on here trying to get the board to actually work at all, like the layout, and get it really small, I was actually tempted to take the whole amplifier section off the board and make that a separate thing. So if I needed it, I'd have a little separate board with amplifier on it. But I thought, oh, no. I managed to route it all and get it all working okay with that still in place, so I didn't have to resort to that. But it would have meant I had to do less on this board if I wasn't using it. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I think the other capacitors aren't needed. I just need to check that. And that's the bypassing. That's okay. So I don't think I need to install anything else in this section. I need to put a resistor across there. Not in that one. Let's use this one here. Well, it does recommend 5. I'm going to, each time I do build one of these, I think I'm going to try a different resistor value. I'm just going to increase it slightly. So I'll go 2.7 mega ohm. The data sheet for the PLL says 5 mega ohm. Now I've used 1 mega ohm, absolutely fine. The last time I built it, I used a 2 mega ohm. So now I'm going to use 2.7. I'm just going to gradually creep it up. I just want to try and, you know, get, well, the data sheet said you can use between 1 and 5, but 5 is example 1, which has to go just there. Let's just get solder. So yeah, it's just one of these things. Just going to play around with it over time to see what seems to work best and most reliably. But so the data sheet does say 5, but 1 worked and 2 has worked. So I'm not too worried about that. But of course, the bloody thing's upside down. Uh oh! It just went flick. Where'd it go? Here it is. Right. This is a bit easier to solder on than the other ones. This is a 0603 on a 0805 pad, so that gives heaps of space for soldering. So I think when I do these in future, I've got a whole bunch of 0805s, so I'll probably use those, but just try and do 0603s instead, because they're just much easier to put on the board. There's more space for the soldering on it. So I think that's that side of the board done. So it's this side. This was it got a little bit trickier. I've actually turned this orientation around. I've changed it. It was the other way up before. When I redesigned the board, I've changed that. What I'm going to do is this. And then put some in here too, actually. Plug on there, like that. That's down. Now let's try and press this down. There we go, that's soldered down there, soldered down there. We change the orientation because it's basically giving it better heat sinking in a way, and not like it really needs it anyway, but it's more central to the board, so it's more heat sinking. You've got this mass of the pins as well going to be there, and also it meant routing the VCC inputs to it went a little bit further because before it was really close, but now the 5 volt is more efficient instead, so it's closer to this chip here, like the pin is there, and it goes through via to the bottom of the board from this point. So it's actually more efficient that way than it was the other way around. Otherwise I had to run 5 volt like right round and stuff like that, so it just worked out better. I'm going to put a capacitor in there, 10 UF cap. What size is that? That's 50 volt. I don't need that. I'll go for a slightly smaller one, I think, just to keep it a bit more compact. Which is it's a 35 volt, which is still, you know, heaps. It's a 5 volt power supply, so not an issue. Really, the pad space is actually meant for a slightly bigger part, but I thought, well, it's alright, I'll just use that, it's fine. Doesn't really matter that much. Now this has also corrected the issue I had with the A4, A5, A6 and stuff like that, where the A7, was it A5, A6, A4, A5, A6, A7, where they're only analog inputs. They cannot be used for digital outputs, which caught me out when I did the first revision because I forgot that. I had read that some time ago. I didn't know about it, but I've just forgotten. And so now I've rejigged all this. So A6 and A7 are not used at all. There's no connections. A4 and A5 are used, but now they're used for different things. So they come up to here for a start, A4 and A5. I think I use a 5.4 TX RX or something like that, and A4 wasn't used at all. I think something like that. Was it A4 comes down to there? A4 is used or something, goes down to there, comes back across. I don't remember, but oh, it comes down there. Is it? No, it's pin 4. I don't remember. Anyway, yeah, so they still do have function, A4 and A5, but they're now configured for inputs. So the TXRX, and maybe for, I might have even used it for the encoder or something instead. I don't remember, but I'll have to relook at the code for that. But, so that's in place. Now I need an Arduino. Arduino. The things about these, they actually come with the headers as well, so that's all good, you know. So I shall drop these in like so, and that's what I need. I need this. Where's it gone? What am I looking for? This. This will do. It's a bit big though. Oh, I'll use the other. That's right. Well, there's new boards I stick in my mailbag. It's only been 16 minutes. It feels longer than that. Okay. So just to get these pins lined up, you just drop them into something like this. You know, you can just drop them in like that, and it will line them up. Which way around? I'll do that way around. I need a bit of solder things, don't I? Yeah, do it that way around. Yes. Don't try and remember which way around I did it before. So let's drop that in there. This is these new boards I've got, which are really tight because they're brand new. Which one is that? Is it that one? That looks about right. These are really good. They're nice and snug anyway. And that was the main thing I wanted from these. And the pins go in. So, which end have to go? I have forgotten now. Hold on. Do we know it goes on top? So this has to be this way up, like so. Hopefully it all still fits. I can get the pins lined up. No, the capacitor's in a way, isn't it? Hold on, let's do this again. Wow, that's a really tight. Come out. Do it this way instead. This is a bit of a wandering. This one, that right there. Okay. So that one there like that. You've got those in there like that. It just goes in, and I think I've got the pins on. Oh no, there we go. So I definitely got the way around, facing upwards. So I'm putting the Arduino on afterwards. I soldered it in. Right. I soldered this. Probably should have the fan going actually. Let's get this. It's a bit noisy, that's all. I'm pretty sure it's a Heiko knockoff. It's got Heiko on it, but I haven't used it that much. I don't know, I've had it for probably a year, maybe, probably less than that. And you can hear the bearings are already gone in the fan. So, yeah, I think it's probably a fake Heiko, not a real Heiko. Anyway, you get that. holding on for a while to try and get the heat right through, so it spreads right through to the bottom of the board. I'm trying to encourage the solder to go right through to the pads on the opposite side, because obviously I can't solder those with the plastic of the headers in the way, so obviously that just doesn't work. I'm wondering if this is on a slight lean actually, because those pins look like they're slightly wonky. Maybe I should check that. Now I've got the thing partially soldered in. Let's make sure they're actually going to go on the Arduino, just in case there's an issue. Solder it in and find it doesn't go in. Anyway, here we go, that's in. That's fine. Oh, I need to do the other pins there too. I mustn't forget to do those internal pins. Right, so that lines up, that's right. That's fine. So I need to do those two little pins on the centre there. What else does this come with? If I dropped them or something? I thought there was more came with that, not just one row. I guess that was it then. We've got the programming one. Okay. What size is this? Is it this size? It is. There we go. It's too short for you, so just grab this one. Actually, what I probably could have done, thinking about it, too late now. These three pins here aren't used, and neither is that very top one. I think. Yeah, very top one's not. No, yeah, it's not used. So I probably actually could have trimmed those off and used those actually. So I have to try and remember that for future revisions. So next time I need to make sure that's the case. Trim that off. Try and get those pin in. Let's just do that to get it lined up. There we go. Yeah, it's slightly wonky, but that's alright. It won't matter once it's all in place. Now let's make sure I don't miss anything underneath there before I solder it down. All seems fine, so I'm going to solder this in place. Because this can be programmed in place. So what I've actually also done on this revision is I've actually disconnected all these pins here. There's nothing there. Before I actually had some connections there for ground and stuff like that. But on this particular board, they're the opposite way around. Ground's over that side, instead of over this side. And so I've just left those pads unconnected to anything. So I put a programmer right through and it won't actually matter. So yeah, it's all good. So this on there. Close to the fan. Let's get this crap out of the way. Yeah, well. So once this is all on, I'll be cutting all these pins off with the excess that sticks out. Maybe what I should do is try and see if I can find some shorter pins, so I don't have to do any cutting. That'd be nice. But it's just that this is what comes with them, so it's like perfect. Really, just drop them in, and you know, don't have to source any other parts. But if it's not necessarily the best way of doing it, then it's probably something I should probably look at changing. I probably should have put some flux on this board actually. I didn't do that. Did it on the other board, didn't do it on this one. Let's see if I can get some in there. Might just help it slightly. So yeah, unfortunately it just takes a while to bloody assemble the boards, but yeah, it's one of these things, you know. But it's still going to be quicker than it would have been if I hadn't been using headers, individual wires and stuff like that. I mean, this is still way faster. So yeah, in that regard, it's much better, but it's still a bit slow for my liking. I mean, I could have saved time, maybe, by incorporating my own design of the Arduino directly onto this board. Maybe, but then that means I've got to mess around buying the parts for that and assembling them on this board as well. And yeah, these are cheap. It's like $1.60. I doubt I could buy the parts for anything like that. So it's just cheaper just to buy the complete unit and just drop it on. Far cheaper. So, right, let's cut this off. Cut the pins off. I might get different colours. It's a bit strong for these ones. There we go. Other colours. No, that's better. Trying to catch them so they don't go flying off. Right. Okay, so set in. So get all this crap here. Bits of metal laying around. It's never a good thing if you're working on electronics. Accidentally short something out and don't realise you've done it. That's happened before. Probably happened to everyone. Right. So the Arduino's on. Now I need to look at these headers here and the configuration I'm going to use for that. So this is going to go on there. Pin 1 is that end, so it goes that way up, and that's going to go on there. So I just need to solder that header on. But before I do that, I'm going to pull the radio apart, I think, and just make sure that it will actually mount in that position okay before I commit to that. Although, actually no, I need headers on anyway. I think I designed the headers come at the top, not at the bottom. But pin 1's at the bottom edge there, pin 1's outside, so it actually works in this orientation only. Or if I use a cable, it's obviously, you know, different. But yeah, I'm fairly sure it'll be fine. Actually, I might just take a couple of pins. Try and wedge it at a right angle. Yeah. Too much sun there. Too much solder, it's not flow through. Yeah, it looks like it's kind of a right angle. So I'll just tack a couple of pins on for the time being, just in case I have to take it back out. Just again, I'm happy with that one. Okay, so that's kind of right angle. It's close, but I mean, it's got to be a play on the pins anyway. So that can now unplug, like so. And then I'll just use the other header to do the ribbon cable. Let's get rid of that for now. Drowning me out, I expect. So I'll need to pull this off and sort that out. Where's my screwdriver gone? Oh, I dropped it. No, there it is. Try with a black screwdriver, it disappears when you've got a dark coloured disc. Right. So I'm just doing this bit now just to check the fitment. Obviously the one that's in there in this radio right now is a prototype, so it's not, well, it's made to fit. Right, I've designed it to fit. So this is the first time this board would have been into a radio, so I need to check the fitment and all that sort of stuff as well, just to be absolutely sure it works. Off. Now I need to. This has got. I've now got some brass spacers for these. Brass standoffs have arrived, so not sure how much coverage I got of the bench from the phone. I noticed on the phone when I'm recording video, the bottom edge might say look like it's here, but when I actually look at the video later on, it's actually more like over here. It's got like a wider coverage I can see on the screen, which is a little bit odd. Anyway, let's just pop that in. Well, I'll need to get the standoffs in there, but at least looks like it's about right. Slots of standoffs look correct as well. So I've actually got slots in there, so it makes it a bit more easy to work on. So there you go, it's going to fit just like that. So that does go in quite nicely. Using this as a mount is, you know, okay for one end, but what I've got here is I've got these mounting holes here now, so I can actually put a little bracket on this end on that side wall here, and mount that onto a little bracket to support this end of it, and that will probably be good enough, I think. Yeah, it's probably be good enough. So that fits, cool. And I also need to look at this. This needs a ribbon cable. Pin 1 is there, so it's straight there to there. It's ribbon cable straight over the top like that. Done. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I have to come off the top of the board. That's fine. Absolutely fine. So let's put some header on there. This one said that's the wrong size, wasn't it? That's, yeah, I need a longer one than that. Let's go and get some more. Right, dual header. I'll get the right length. Use this one, she might be slightly better, it's a bit sharper. Get in there a bit more easily. Yeah, I feel better. This one tends to wedge more than cut on these things. It just isn't really quite the right thing. So normally this is designed. Let's just get this out of the way. I think finish with it now. Actually, I need to put a resistor on the back of this. I keep forgetting. Oh, where's my stomach going? I'm hungry, apparently. So this is designed to go on there, right? So that's the original orientation. This is what I redesigned it to do, right? So the revision is to do that. And the header was to come out at the side and plug in for the display. So the idea was to do that and then have a little cable going to display. But I'm trying to get all this stuff further away from the VCO circuit, and I find those cans, because it occurred to me that I could put the board over here like I'm doing right now. So because I've got, this is actually a reversed socket, it's flipped or something. I can't remember what I did now. Did something, was it? No, that's right, I'm thinking this one's flipped. So yeah, that was obviously designed to go straight through, so now I just need to run that. Now, which is fine as long as I can get a plug on there, because it's quite close to the Arduino. I'm hoping I left enough space. Let's just find a plug. I've got these pre-made ones. What's the betting they're not the right size? No, they're not. Guess it's short. I have to buy some more pre-made ones. Those were for a different board I do. I'm hoping I've actually got some that will fit. Just when I find I don't have any suitable connectors. It might be. What are those, 10 pin? Yeah, those are 10 pin. I need 18 pin. What are these? 14 pin. I'm not sure I've got them. These look all 10 pin. Yeah, more 10s. This could be a problem if I don't have the right connectors. I know I had some other ones ages ago. Yeah, but I think I've lost those. I think I have anyway. I've got all kinds of stuff. It's not the stuff I need, the looks of it. No, that's not what I need. That's a problem, isn't it? And I thought about this several times too when I was doing this redesign. What's that one? 14. Yeah, I thought of it several times, thinking to myself, oh yeah, I need to get some more connectors. And I obviously kept on forgetting, because I don't have any. Oh, that's a pain, isn't it? Bugger. That's annoying. So the closest I've got is these 14s. I think this must be 14s. Yeah, those are 14s as well. So I bought these for a different board I do. Yeah, that's really inconvenient. But I know I did have some other ones, but I just can't find them. I've lost the things. What am I going to do about this? Okay. I might have to go digging and see if I can find those other parts. If I order some now, I won't get them till probably Tuesday, Wednesday, which is a bit of a pain because that's several days away. Well, a few days away. Over a weekend. I know I had some. That's the annoying thing. I had a whole bunch of different ones, but I've lost them. And I thought I'd organise them all into that terminal box, but no, I've lost them. I know I've lost them. All right, so that's okay. I'll just what I will do actually, what I can do, I need to verify it's going to fit. Right? That's the first thing I need to do. So one of these plugs will tell me if it's going to fit or not. if I get a smaller header, which should hopefully fit on there, barely. What about a single in line? Will that do? Pin 1 to pin 1. That should be the right way of doing it, shouldn't it? Let's try and get in camera nicely. Otherwise, it's a bit of a mystery of what I'm doing for you. Now, so pin 1's over there apparently. Yes. So this is designed the other way around. Oh, that's not the right one, is it? Close enough. Or was that one there? There you go. This way. This one's shorter. Well, I'm just trying to check the clearances to make sure I can actually get this socket with this plug down on the board next to that. Yes, it will go. It's just touching, but it will go. I might have to actually run these things back to front because it's got the notch on that side. Yeah, it's got clearance that way around. So I might have to run, although it says pin 1, you know, by the colour, pin 1's over here, right? Yeah. Yeah, I should probably keep it the correct way around. I mean, it does go on, so I think it's okay. I think it's fine. I'm just worried. I just need to get some parts now. I just need to get some cables, and they're cheap. I mean, I'll probably just buy some, like I did here, buy some pre-made ones, and then just put a plug on. You know, it's actually cheap to buy these pre-made ones like this with the plug on each end, and then just cut it off and then put your own plug on one end. It's actually cheaper to do that than it is to buy 2 plugs and a bit of cable. So, you know. Yeah, that was the plan. These are actually designed, well, those are for a board which only need to plug at one end anyway. So all I have to do is cut the cable off, it's fine, that's it. But that isn't what I'm doing for these boards. So, right, bit of R&D for you, isn't it? Eh? Bit of R&D. Yeah. So that will go on there just fine. So I shall do that. That will fit. So actually get the headers out. The headers. The spacers. What size they're supposed to be? 6mm, I think. Okay. They look like 6mm. Where's that board I took out? It's here. Should be the same size as that. So yeah, that's the right one. That's fine. So brass ones. The other things I did get, where are they gone? Different sizes of brass ones. I've also got this little kit which has got the female to female. This is male to female. If I use the male to female, that means I have to use a nut. If I use the male to male, female to female, then I can just use a screw each end. That sounds wrong, doesn't it? It sounds female to female, screw each end. Anyway, decisions, what to do. Because I bought a bunch of these to use. I use these. That's what they're for. I just wonder where those went. Put them in they're in the hardware box rather than the terminals box. Oh, it's alright. And here's that bracket stuff. I think I showed you in the previous video. I'll probably end up using that down the side to hold the board up. Right, so let's just get a couple of these out. Actually, this board here, got the nuts in here. Let's grab these. 2 nuts. There's a nice little kit, actually. It's quite cheap, so that's always good. Cheap's always good. Unless, of course, the quality is crap, then it's not so good. Right. So I've got this moment of truth too, so that's going to go through there. Now I did try and pull the copper back, but it looks like I didn't pull it back far enough for those slots. The screw is still really close to them. It's like I might have got those dimensions slightly wrong, because I wanted it to be insulated. I didn't want it to come in contact. The standoff looks okay, but the nut's probably going to be no good as well. So it's got quite short threads on them actually. I wonder if that would be an issue with the PCB side of things. Oh no, that's all right. So what I probably need to look at doing here is just putting these on temporarily, lining up onto the front panel and putting screws in the front panel to hold those in, and then take the nuts back off again, or just tighten them up. Anyway, I'll do something. So I slotted it so I've got some adjustment there, so I've actually got some leeway so I can move it up and down a little bit, or turn it slightly like that, wiggle it slightly sideways, or shift it sideways a little bit, just to allow for some slight alignment tweaks, just in case it's not quite there, you know. Anyway, that's all solid. Oh, that resistor, I keep forgetting that bloody resistor. Hold on. So I had to do in a previous version of these, I have to put a little resistor on those pins because I missed it off the design of the board. Bit of an oversight. I've made a few mistakes on these things. I don't know why I've been so bad with them really. So I need to go to which pin? That one there to that one there, that's right, okay. Time when having angle tweezers isn't actually helpful. Right. The board is tipping over, which isn't helping. Let's do that. That'll do. So what this resistor is supposed to do is act as a pull down for the press button section of the encoder. I put resistors on here as pull downs for the encoder turning, but I forgot to put one on for the press button. I mean, I could alter the programming on the Arduino and run it in reverse and just use the internal pull-up resistor. I mean, that's certainly possible. It's saving having to put this resistor on, but from my perspective, I like to keep things all the same, and my logic is basically high is on, low is off. So that's what I try and do. Let's stick it on there, a bit of solder, a bit of flux. So this is pull down. So that means that now that'll be low unless it's being pushed. Okay, it's not the most tidy thing. Actually, I should do a bit of a clean up, shouldn't I? Get the flux off it a little bit. Just a little bit there. And swaps. I'll probably go back and look at this video and see half the stuff I'm doing is off camera because I'm working quite close to the edge of the desk, and that's a bit of a concern. I might be not paying enough attention to what I'm doing actually. Yeah. Probably should go back and check that actually, make sure it's actually on camera, because that'd be quite irritating. I probably shouldn't be using these tweezers for this because these are quite nice tweezers and flux is a little bit corrosive, you know, over time and stuff like that, so I probably shouldn't be using my good ones for this. But anyway, I am. Right. Good enough. I'm not going to worry too much about it. You know, it should still last many years, even with a bit of flux left on it. It just doesn't look very nice. I should do this board too, but I'll do it later. Okay, so that's now ready to go in. Okay, so that's the display board in there. That's not hitting anything, just making sure. Yeah, it's all looking fine. The thing when you redesign things, you can always make a little mistake somewhere, but it's all good. I've made lots of little mistakes doing this, it's incredible. I don't normally make that many mistakes. So that's on there just fine. That alignment is probably okay. Let's just have a look. Okay. Looks like it needs to be turned very slightly. These screws are too tight now. I didn't tighten them up that much. Oh, I've got pliers here. Let's use pliers. Just bound up very slightly. I just wonder if it is hitting something. Didn't do them up that tight. I did them up anyway. Maybe when I did the screws up, it bit in and did that then. Now let's see if I can just tweak this alignment very slightly. Okay, just. Okay, so in a way, having adjustable is a bit of a pain because it means you have to adjust it, right? But it also means that it can be adjusted. I'm just trying to get the pot centered and the display edges roughly centered, so it's pretty close there. So I basically go for parallel to the side of the radio, so it's lined up there. Push it down for both. Yeah, that's not bad. So I think just pushing it down, having a parallel radio, that seems to be okay actually. Although I'm actually inclined to push it up actually, because then you can see slightly more of the display. So let's do that. And then recenter it. Yeah, that's alright. I think I'm probably just being too fussy about that. It's actually all visible just fine. It's in the display just fine. The encoder is fairly centered, so I'm probably just being a bit too fussy about it. Really, I tend to worry about details a bit too much sometimes. So, right, yeah, there we go. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. So that's that mounted in there. I need to mount that on, solder this in, stick some more flux, because I haven't put flux on the actual pins, have I? Let's do that. I think that's the issue I'm having with trying to get these to solder nicely, is there's no flux on the pins. So let's do that. I want to try and actually get it angled away from that board very slightly. So it's... oh, damn it, it's not actually in. Lift it out. Come on, drop in there. There we go. Right. Trying to do too much at once. Okay. So I want to obviously try and get it straight, but also I I want to make sure I've got as much clearance as I can from that board. Really, I've got them a little bit too close. But I was trying to keep it all as compact as I could. But yeah, it's a little too close to my liking, really. I probably should have done that a little differently. I haven't, but I should have done. There you go, a very slight angle on those pins. Alright, and that's intentional because I just want to give myself slightly more clearance. I really should have done some measurements on that, but I thought, well, no, that should be okay. It's outside of the boundaries of the silk screen markings for the product, for the part outlines. But obviously the outline's okay for the actual header pins, not for the socket, and not for the plug that goes onto them. So yeah, that's alright. It's just minor detail. It's not that big a deal. If I turn the socket around, well, the plug around the other way, then it's fine. It will actually fit just fine. But if I try and get some which don't have the indent in them, or the notch for the orientation, if I get some plain ones instead, that might also resolve the problem, because then it won't have that lump on the side of the plug. That's also a good option, actually. Right, let's give this a bit of a clean. So I don't need to populate the crystal. Actually, I should check that the crystal will fit. I think it will. I don't need to populate the crystal or the other capacitors on the board. The others aren't used. Because in this case, it gets the signal from the radio itself. But I do have some little low profile crystals which just pop in here like that. See, there we go, beautiful. I've got a whole bunch of those, but if I do need to use them, I've got them. Trying to knock things over and walking around my room. That was the HP which nearly took a tumble then. The multifunction synthesizer, the 8904A, which I'm in the middle of repairing. Nearly took a tumble, that would be no good. Right, so I'm going to solder these on now. I'm confident that will fit. Let's just try it. Plug it in. There you go. So that'll sit in there like that. Now you can see it's very wobbly, that's really not good. So what I will be doing is putting a bracket on the side here. That's your hole right there. There and there, which I could probably use for the bracket, and then just line it up on the board, probably underneath, sit the board on top of it, and screw through that into the bracket. It'll be simple enough. That's all good. So this board here, all that can come out now. So I'm going to desolder those, take those wires out. They're not used. So that's the prototype. So it did its job. All this can come out. Come on. It's a bit of a messy, but I should probably get the desoldering gun going actually, but yeah, well, that's fine. Right. And there's one more wire which goes over there somewhere. Where's that one go? That pin over here. Is it? No. No. There? No. Where's it going? See, man, there. Goes to here. There. Right. So that's the prototype out. Which I'll probably repurpose for something else at some point. Let's give this a clean up. I can't bother turning my desoldering on just for this, so I'll just use this. probably a time where solder wick is a good idea. No. Probably get it much tidier than what I'm doing with this. Okay. I think that's okay. Just double check. There's a part in there. I'll just solder that in just to make sure it doesn't drop out. Even though it's not being used. Okay. So, what I really need now is the cable to go from there to there and do that bracket, and then program it. I need to change the software for this as well, because now it's using a different pinout from the prototype. So I actually need to cross-check against my drawings for these boards, and specify the pinout for on Arduino. So anyway, that's all good. So I mean, it might even be possible that next time I do this, I don't use the sockets on the back of there, but I wanted to do that so it's removable in case I had made a mistake. It's still not, you know, it's still prototyping stages, so I need to solder these on yet. Let's just stick some flux on these. Come on, there you go. A little bit too much flux on it this time. It's going to be quite a long video. Must be getting close to an hour by now. So I think I'll make this video by itself, and I'll probably do some more when I do the final vision, the final build where I'll get the cables. I mean, technically I don't actually need all those cables anyway, because what I've basically got happening here is I've got cables running through there's connections going through here which go to the PLL location, which aren't used. They've got a whole bunch of like the binary inputs, like the channel selector input pins, all hooked up, and stuff like that. But none of those are being used. But I do have pins at each end which are being used, which is a bit unfortunate, because if I had actually thought about that layout part early on, I probably could have just shifted the known to be used pins all to one end, and then left these ones all the optionals, and then if I didn't actually need to use that much, I could have used a smaller plug and a smaller cable, you know, and just kept it a bit more compact that way. But I mean, it's just little things, little details, you know, think of things like that afterwards. So let's give this a clean up. Then I'll leave it at that for now, I think, because I can't do much more until I get some plugs, which is a massive oversight. You know, I'm usually very good at having everything ready to go, you know, and all prepared, but that's quite an oversight, I tell you. Yeah, the way it goes. Don't always get it right. I try to, but I don't always do it. The most important bit here to get clean is the PLL section, because that's you know, got oscillator inputs and stuff like that around here and that kind of thing. So it's quite important to get all this bit really clean. Don't want any circuits being loaded down. And obviously the actual signals come through this connector here, so these all need to be really clean too. So the display one's less critical. Still, you want to keep it nice and clean. And this side here, well, yeah, get rid of a bit of a wipe down, I suppose. But there's not really much on this side I can clean. Just this bit. So there we go. Now I do, as you may have noticed, I've got ground and 5-volt connections here, and there's also sorry, VDD and 5-volt connection, FN, and there's a ground set of grounds there. Those are all optional things. I don't need to connect to any of those things because it all passes through this. But I left the FN on there because that makes a good test point. So you can stick an oscilloscope probe on there and actually see what signals coming to the PLL. Yeah, it just makes a convenient test point for probing. So, oh, God, drop my. Oh, they're gone. That's it. Never see them again on the floor. I've got to tie this room up. Okay, so that's it for now. Yeah. I should take a screenshot of this, I suppose. Use that for the video. And yeah, I'll do that around. Right, that's what I can do for now, which is a bit frustrating because all we need is cable from here to here. I can do testing. I could probably bodge something together, but I don't want to do that. I just want to do it properly. This is supposed to be a progressive prototype. I mean, this one here was supposed to be the bodge, right? And well, yeah, it is a little bit, but that was supposed to be the real bodge, and figure out how to work it and get it to function properly. And so this is all here. I mean, you can see the board flexing very slightly. Yes, I think it's more front panel. Yes, front panel movement. But yeah, that's all good. Let's give this a clean. So, right, in the video, that's been 1 hour and 7 minutes, 8 minutes rather. So yes, prototype version 2 installed, and looking good. Won't be long now. Once I get those other boards, well, the other cables, I'll hook it all up, reprogram it, well, update the software to do the new pinout and program it, and see how bad the noise is now. It should be a lot better. However, the connections here which go through to display, they're shared with these pins here, which we feed back through to here, which feed back through to the PLL location. So in a way it's actually splitting noise backwards. It may or may not be an issue. I might just actually put some capacitors or something on this side here to ground, just to load those down very slightly, try and stop any noise that way, like 0.01 UF or something like that. Just a nice easy way of doing that. If I can get a capacitor array, it'd be ideal, but trying to get a SIL capacitor array now, it's hard. I was trying to find one, I couldn't find one. Must be out there somewhere. But anyway, have a good one. Give us a thumbs up if you like the project. Subscribe if you want to see more of the project, because it's not finished yet. It's getting close, but it's not there yet. And tell your friends and spread the word about this particular modification. If you haven't seen the previous videos for this, go back and have a look. They're all called MC145170 experiments, or EP4 conversion, or something like that. Either look for EP4 or MC145170 and you'll find it. Okay, you can see how the progress has gone. It's taking more time than I wanted. I was expecting to take much less time than this, but this thing with getting circuit boards made, it takes like a month to turnaround for, unless I'm paying a lot of money for postage. So it takes a while to get done. But okay, have a good one. Give a thumbs up. Catch you later.